your final score there. Payson is the host of this cluster, and they were taking on Athens as well. Jordan Epperson's going to lay down the bunt, but watch it get all the way almost into the outfield. No one knows what to do, and you know what? That's going to turn into her on second base and a run score. That's just on a bunt, and she made it all the way to second. I like it. She's got the wheels. Rhiannon Speckhard then bloops one in. That's the old Texas leaguer. Amy Brinkman comes home to score. Payson just looks like they got the luck going with them. Jordan Epperson then once again laying it down as she does so well. Just gets the run home with the sacrifice. Payson goes on to win 8-2. They did lose the second game 7-0.
To dig safely, it's the law.
Big right.
Well, welcome into double overtime. We talked earlier about Jacksonville star Ben Wagner's amazing start. Payson softball star Rhiannon Speckhard has been no slouch at the plate either in the early season, with 7 hits in 8 at-bats over her last 3 games. Today taking on Athens in the Payson cluster, would Rhiannon make her presence felt again? Her sister Alyssa did here with the K to end the inning right here. And then it would be Rhiannon stepping up and doing what she does best, which is swinging the bat. And she's a good one. An RBI single right here to the right side put Payson up 1-0 early. Oh, but they're not done yet. How about Jordan Epperson standing at the plate? And a little opportunism here for her team with a slap bunt double. If you want to call that, it scores a run. Payson leads 2-0. Amy Brinkman, what a great story she is. Had that catastrophic injury during the course of the season. During the course of the volleyball season, I should say. She's back. RBI single right here, goes past the shortstop, 3-0 Payson. They would never look back in this ball game with the Payson Seymour Lady Indians. Athens, not a real good day for them. Here, though, it's Jamie Ingrid with a great catch, but Jordan Epperson would tag and score on the sac fly, which turned out to be a sac fly by Wendy Whelan. 4-0 Payson. Payson still looking for other answers. Constance Smith reaches on an air. That would score Miss Speckhard, Alyssa Speckhard right here, making it 5-0. And Payson just piled on today. They end up winning this game by the final count of 8-0. Back to the Payson cluster. It's Q&D's turn to beat up
Liberty 12-0. Josh Lathrop, he had 2 hits, drove in 5 runs on the afternoon. Softball today, Griggsville Perry playing at Payson, regional semifinals, and the Tornadoes getting onto the board here with a base shot that drives home a run. They are pumped, and then coming right back, however, is the defense of Payson. Bases loaded, they turn the 1-2-3 double dip. Payson trying to move on in this regional semifinal, and Amy Brinkman will help out with his shot to left field. Brings home a couple. Payson Seymour goes on to knock off Griggsville Perry. Indians moving on 8-2. Your final score in that.
2-1. One more game here for softball. Payson hosting Carrollton. This was a great game. Payson's motto, the season will never die. Will it tonight? Elise Speckhart strikes out Erica Carter. She had 9 strikeouts on the day. Jordan, they call her Joe Epperson, gets Payson started right here. A shot to right field. It scores a run. 1-0 Payson. At that point, Kelly Stahl then is going to reach on this error. As you see in the background, it's going to allow another run to score. Amy Brinkman makes it 2-0. So we head to the bottom of the 7th. Payson leading 2-0. Carrollton's Caitlin Evans, though, will hit this ball into the gap with 2 runners on. Both of them will score. We have a tie game at that point. And it's Rachel Coonrod ending the season for Payson with a walk-off shot here to the fence. 3-2. Payson's season ends in a heartbreaker in this one. Other score.
Your final there. Tough day for Payson Seymour. We take you to their showdown with Carrollton right there. Elise Speckhart, boy, she was good today, pitching with a strikeout to end the inning here. Jordan Epperson had a big day at the plate, too. Drove in a run, had a couple of hits, playing some great offense for her team. But sadly on the day, it would not have any legs. Despite building a 2-0 lead today, Payson bows out and loses late in this game to Carrollton. 3-2 was your final there. And still to come on this cram-packed edition.
And now, sports on the Tri-States News Leader with Sports Director Ben Mars.
Through 3 games this spring, Payson Seymour softball team has been lethal with the sticks. Lady Indians averaging more than 10 runs a game, and with Elise Speckhart's steady presence on the mound, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better starts in the area. Pittsfield also strong this year, gunning to go 2-0. How about Payson trying to protect their home floor? Constance Smith, a little ground ball that's an out, but brings home a run. Haley Epperson, who had a couple of hits in the game, scores a run. Lady Indians would come right back again. It's this time Jordan Epperson with the single, getting away from the first baseman here, however, allows another run to come around. Lady Indians off and moving. Then Pittsfield would answer, courtesy of the wild one, Abby Forshee coming in. How about some defense, too, from the Saukeys? The Yadier Molina of the Tri-States picking off a runner at third. That is Danielle Van Winkle. Very nicely done. Payson, however, wins 6-1 your final score. They are 4-0. A couple of high school baseball scores to throw your way. Quincy Notre Dame losing at home 8-3.
Overtime. Granted, we've had some very impressive starts in high school baseball, but the spring's most impressive effort right now comes to us from the scorching hot Payson Seymour softball team. Looking for its 6th straight win today, let's put on the sports director pants and take a walk down that road, shall we? Payson taking on Carrollton in the Payson cluster. Jordan Epperson getting the start in game number 2 of the day. A strikeout to end the first, and it was a thing of beauty on this day. Payson loads the bases in the first with 1 out. Erica Carter would K. Haley Epperson here getting out of the jam unscathed for the Lady Hawks. Bottom of the second, runner on third, and Ashley Oberling comes up right here, laying down the perfect bunt. Carrollton throws to first to get the out, and Jade Delacour scores to make it 1-0 at that point. Later in the frame, Ashley Wack, one of the best named softball players in the entire area, grounds to short, a mighty whack of her own. Jordan Epperson comes all the way home to score from second. Carrollton would tie it up at 2 apiece on a sac fly later by Militia Schnelt, but it would be all Payson down the stretch as Payson wins 2 more today. Whoa, 6th inning big today as Dakota Flessner hit a 3-run double. Jordan Epperson 3 for 4 on the day. Payson continues to cruise. They look good today. They win both games. Game number 1, 8-4. That's actually game number 2. Game number 1, as we go to the scoreboard, they win 4-2 over Lewistown today. Also, same cluster, Q&D.
4-3, the final score. Talking to an area softball coach earlier this week, he said, and I quote, "We play Payson this week, so we'll get to find out how good we really are." Jeff Zanger's Lady Indians have garnered that kind of reputation in the past several seasons. They played today in the Payson cluster. They started out with Lewistown, and Lewistown going to get things going early on. Lewiston, excuse me, with the steal right here. She's safe, Miss Bull, and then a little bit of errant pitching is going to let Lewiston get in the lead as the run's going to come home and score. And off to an early start are the Lady Indians. But Payson, of course, would come back and play their usual good softball. Courtney Luce is going to do her job. She's going to sacrifice the run in here with the fielder's choice, and it would be Payson beating Lewiston in this one by a final score. That's reversed, excuse me, 4-2. Payson would win the second game as well against Carrollton, 8-4. As for more scores, Q&D 11-0 over Lewiston. They also beat Carrollton 6-2. Griggsville Perry.
It's Cairo 7-4 there. Between the two, Quincy High and Quincy. Elsewhere tonight, we got Keokuk and Holy Trinity doing battle in boys soccer. Boy, Holy Trinity would come victorious. Elsewhere tonight, Payson Seymour softball hosting Central Southeastern on the diamond. Jeff Zanger's squad unbeaten thus far. Their hands would be full on this night. Maggie Russell getting the hit there. She'd later score on a pass ball. Central Southeastern up by the score of 1-0. Later on, it would turn into be a big inning for the Lady Panthers. They go to Payson, get a big win, 3-1. Your final score there. A couple of softball scores to throw your way from today. Q&D gets a 1-hitter from Illini West beats Griggsville Perry in a doubleheader.
Get down, down.
Softball time now, and I told you we were busy today. Elise Speckard on the hill and dealing against Brussels, and she was also making use of the fuming aluminum, helping her own cause here. Payson already up 2-0. Now it's 4-0 as Payson just keeps building right here. Nicole Beckman with an RBI rip. Then Elise Speckard again. She had 4 ribbies on the day in this game, driving home 1 more at this point. It's like 6-0 at this point. Dakota Flessner steps up. That's a fine piece of hitting as well. An RBI rip. And then how about a little Wendy Whelan? Wheels getting the job done. She had a big day as well. 6 ribbies on the day, including 1 here on the sac fly. And more to come on the throwing area down at third base. Just a wild day as Payson just kept scoring runs right and left in this ball game. In fact, in game number 1, 17 runs in the day for Payson Seymour, and Elise Speckard closes things out 17-2. Game number 2, as we go to the scoreboard, similar situation. Jordan Epperson on the hill and pitching very well, a 1-hitter. And I mentioned Wendy Whelan again, just great hitting out of her. She busted out of her little mini slump, had 6 ribbies on the day combined, and Payson Seymour gets the win over Brussels. Payson Seymour, other than that loss to Central earlier this week, been playing very, very good softball.
Softball, Quincy Notre Dame on the road at Payson Seymour. Umpires having a little discussion. Yes, where should we go to eat? I'm not sure. But anyway, Quincy Notre Dame coming out with Elizabeth Wolf with the old sacrifice. Brings in Renita Bunny. Eric Orn's group off to a positive start. Then it's Elise Obert. How about this shot? That's going to go, well, down a little bit. Ball gets kind of smacked around. Outfielders have some miscommunications. That's going to wind up being a triple as Kelsey Lay comes in. Payson trying to answer. It's Jay Delcourt with the nice little rip here. That's going to bring home Olivia Yates. Payson getting a run back. However, the Lady Raiders and Danielle Sanders, too much in the end as she'll come home on the wild pitch, and Quincy Notre Dame wins on the road. Final score in that 5-1. Doubleheader for Illini West.
A winner over Western, 15-2. Quincy Notre Dame on the road at Payson today. This was the biggest hit of the ball game, provided courtesy of Danielle Sanders as she hits the RBI scoring triple to bring home Renita Bunty. At that point, it's a 4-1 lead in favor of Q&D. Payson with a pass ball right here that allows Miss Sanders to score, and Christy Obert would close things out for the victorious Lady Raiders as they went on the road by the final count today of 5-1.
Q&D would get him in game 2. Other scores from around the area, actually we'll stay at the Q&D cluster. Payson versus Illini West, bottom of the 3rd, Jordan Brooks. What a day she had over the outfielder's head. That's going to bring in a run. She would have herself quite a day, did Miss Brooks. Then it's Christina Bostrom. She's going to get this one to go through. The ball must have had eyes there. Another run scores. It's going to be all Illini West over Payson, 14-3.
To softball now. It's Illini West in action against Payson Seymour, and right off the bat in this game, you're looking at Casey Ellifritz with the base hit to center that puts runners on the corners with IW already down 2-0. Christina Bostrom right here scores on the Jordan Epperson wild pitch to make it 2-1, and IW was just simply getting warmed up at that point. Randy Gronwald steps to the plate with the sac fly to score Jordan Brooks, who was a monster today. That ties it up at 2 apiece. More on Jordan just a second. Alyssa Swanson about to step to the plate. She would smash one through the left side. Casey Ellifritz scores, and suddenly it would be Illini West with its first lead. Up 4-2 at this point in the second. Jordan Epperson, who got her 100th career hit today, gets a run back on the short shot to shortstop as Haley Epperson scores, makes it 4-3. How about a little Payson Seymour defense here? Ellifritz hits the hard grounder off Alyssa Smith. Elise Speckart grabs the carom and throws out the would-be runner, but here comes IW with more. Lachey Rotifer right here drives home Randy Gronwald to make it 5-3 IW, and then the onslaught begins. Epperson issues a bases-loaded walk to Christina Bostrom. That would score Miss Rotifer, and then Jordan Brooks, who I believe was 4-4 on the day coming up here. She also had 5 ribbies. She would step in, and she would make effective use of the aluminum here. A longish drive to center field that would clear the bases. 3 runs come home to score. 3 of those 5 ribbies makes it 9-3 Chargers. They eventually win this game in lopsided fashion to the Chargers. 14-3 is your final there. Other scores today from the Q&D cluster. Columbia. The red-hot Rushville Industry Lady Rockets took down a top seed of their own, busting out Brimfield 7-3 behind 3 ribbies from Chelsea Rhodes. That's 2 straight upsets for Kurt Lunt's crew, which gets either Illini West or West Hancock, depending upon tomorrow's outcome in the finals on Saturday. Payson Seymour trying to avoid the upset at Brown County. Jeff Zanger's team not very good offensively at the latter part of this week, so they rely on Elise Speckart to take the onus off the offense, and she was once again brilliant at the bump. She was also not too shabby here executing the squeeze play. That is your cleanup hitter. That may tell you that Payson was looking for runs, trying to scrounge for him. Elise just going on strong. Miss Speckart with a nice strikeout there as well. She had 9 of those today. Then Courtney Luce steps to the plate in the 4th inning. 1-0. It's no longer a 1-0 game. Courtney Luce out into the baseball field with a massive jack right there, a home run. Story of the day, Dakota Flessner as well with 4 ribbies, 2 of them coming here. Payson Seymour wins over Brown County 9-0. The only other score on the day, local softball-wise, Griggsville.
In this game, Seth Minner's group moving on. They'll take on the top seed coming up tomorrow at 5 p.m. We got some softball, more regional action. Payson Seymour taking on Brown County, and this is Elise Speckart with the old sack bunt. Her duty was on the mound today. Complete game 3 hitter for Speckart, as you see here, getting the strikeout, and then just moments later doing it yet again. Payson Seymour's offense coming alive thanks to Alyssa Smith, who comes up huge here. That would score Jamie Epperson. just getting inside of the fair line there. Big night for several Lady Indians, including, if we could tell you, in regards to that, Courtney Lose, Dakota Flester, all big days. Payson Seymour moves on. Final score in that contest was 9-0. Other softball, regional semifinal play. Griggsville Perry winning 2-1. Miranda Whit.
And 7-6. A regional title on the line for two local teams who are very evenly matched. Liberty and Payson convened in Minden today to determine the regional champ. The team split in the regular season. So once again, who would claim the series? Who would claim the regional title? Lucy Cramsey's going to start us off. She's going to get a little pop-up here with Liberty already leading 3-0. That's going to bring in a run, 4-0 with that single to right. We'll stay in the 5th inning. It's going to be more Liberty. Nice little poke there. Not a replay. This one's caught, but the run's going to score. And at that point, 5-0. Payson would try to come back. Jordan Epperson, right here, she sets the school record with her 43rd hit of the season. Congratulations to Jordan, but not enough for Payson today as they lose 5-3. Liberty moving on. Still waiting to hear.
Also, congratulations to the Necks. Speaking of Liberty, Liberty and Payson going at it for a softball regional today. Would it be a good day all around for the Eagles, or would Mr. Zanger and Miss Speckhart dominate early on? Liberty set down an order by Elise Speckhart, but Amber Wellman equally good on the hill for the Eagles out of a mini jam in the first and even better in the second right here. She just has unbelievably nasty stuff and a release you just can't pick up. Amber Wellman, good. To the 3rd inning, Grace Sanders surprises everyone at Payson. The Jedi mind trick bunt, lulling them into a false sense of security. She's on, the ball thrown away with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Ashley Huddleston gets a little help here. Payson throws the ball away, throwing away a short out, and 2-run score, 2-0. Then it's Lucy Cramsey, already 1 for 1 on the day. Now she's 2 for 2 with a single to right. Huddleston gets a little opportunistic and brave and scores, and Liberty's up 3-0. Wellman would keep Payson hunkered down at that point. More great pitching from her. Just can't get enough of that release. Good stuff. Tough to hit indeed. Liberty would load the bases an inning later, and once again, take a guess. Lucy Cramsey crams one out into short center field. She's 3 for 3 at this point with an RBI single, and then a long sac fly here from Kelsey Martin does the trick, makes it 5-0. Liberty well on its way, but Payson still had a little something left in the tank. Jordan Epperson, we show you this double because it ties Payson's single season record for hits in a season. I believe that's number 47. Then runners on 2nd and 3rd for Wendy Whelan. They call her Wheels. She's fast. So too is Jordan Epperson, who scores. It's 5-2 at that point. The Indians trying to come back. They had another here on the fielder's choice, and Miss Whelan showing off the wheels, getting in under the tag, makes it 5-3. But Rochelle Berry would come on in relief. Payson threatening in the 7th inning again, not threatening so much anymore because Rochelle Berry was very good. She gets the save. Miss Wellman gets the win, and the Liberty Lady Eagles get themselves a little trophy action, beating Payson Seymour, not Unity. 5-3 is your final at Unity, and picking up a little hardware for their effort. Up next for Payson will either be Hardham or Pawnee. No score was ever called in to the IHSA, so we don't quite know yet. We'll
usually throw up off the